All right, well, folks, this video is going to encompass everything that we know so far about the new Tyler Perry series coming to BET Plus called Route 187 or Route 187, however you want to pronounce it. Now, according to Actors Access, this show got filmed way back in February of 2023, which is insane. But then again, when you take into account things like the actor-writer strike, as well as possible hiccups in the negotiation between Tyler Perry and BET about, or excuse me, Tyler Perry and Paramount about or Viacom about the upcoming contract. If I'm not mistaken, this kind of falls within the time frame of, when BET was said to be, put on auction. So maybe this series was something Tyler Perry cooked up in the back burner, but he was unsure about, will I still be with BET and put this series there, or will I just hold this series in my back pocket if things don't work out and maybe I'll put it on Netflix or something. But regardless, this show was created last year, and again, it's coming to BET Plus. Now, we do have a synopsis of the story. The city of South Winslow is a crime-ridden nightmare where hardworking citizens struggle to survive against overwhelming odds. But when a veteran bus driver on Route 187 and a star high school basketball player, a passenger on that ill-fated bus, are beaten to death by a group of thugs for no reason other than a delight in violence and mayhem, the community goes into a state of collective shock as the culprits caught on video are sought by the authorities. Meanwhile, vulnerable black women in the community continue to disappear without a trace, and it seems that a serial killer may be stalking the streets of the crime-infested city. Now, at the time, I don't know the exact episode count for this show, but I'm willing to bet that it's probably more than 4 episodes, considering that, for example, Netflix greenlit a series Beauty in Black for Tyler Perry, and I believe that's going to have like 16 episodes or something like that. When typically, new shows on different streaming platforms get like a 4 episode, or maybe if they're lucky, a 10 episode count for their initial seasons. But aside from this, Actors Access provided a long list of different characters who I'll go through their, names and descriptions. And that's about it for the video. So strap yourselves in because this is going to be a lot of characters. Oh yeah, before going forward, please do me a favor and hit like and subscribe. And let me know in the comments if you're excited about this new show. So without further ado, the first character to talk about is the bus driver himself, Paul Crawford, 57 and black. This weary but courageous bus driver is subbing for an ailing colleague on Route 187. When Daryl and his fellow thugs start harassing Terrence on the bus, he orders them to get out. But when they start beating on Terrence, he leaves the vehicle to try to assist and is himself viciously beaten. An assault that results in death. Holy crap. 5 speeches and 5 lines, dudes, in one scene. Or 2 scenes. Holy crap. Okay. The CTA bus dispatch chief Albert Riley, 61, this overweight. So I'm sorry, these descriptions sometimes make me chuckle. This overweight white man is the chief of the Winslow City Transit Authority. He calls his drivers in to tell them of their fellow driver Paul and his vicious assault. Later, he radios the sad news about Paul passing away. Kevin, he's 10 years old, black. He is William's little brother. He lives with him in their grandparents' squalid hoarder's house. Sorry if I mispronounced some of the words. He and William share a close and loving bond, and William is Kevin's de facto caregiver, feeding and caring for him when there's no one else to do so. When Kevin sees a report on TV that William is wanted for murder, he's devastated at the thought that William may not be around to care for him any longer. Mick, 22, white. He's Finley's son, heard arguing with his girlfriend Aubrey. His father warns him that Aubrey is too high-strung for him, at which point Mike needles his father for having girlfriends who are half his age. Ronald Coleman, 55, black. He's Lisa's handsome, well-built ex-husband who is now remarried and has another son, Devin. When he learns that their son Terrence is in a coma, He rushes to the hospital to see what help and support he can be. Elaine Simmons, 56, black female. This concerned bus passenger tries to intervene in the altercation between Terrence and Daryl Stuggs. While she calls 911, she then watches in horror as Terrence and the bus driver Paul are viciously beaten outside of the bus. Sheila and Cammie, 16 years old, black. These two high school girls who are passengers on the ill-fated bus also watched the beating of Terrence and Paul in horror. Karen, 25, black. This young woman works in Imp's drug factory. She and her aunt DeMille must strip nude every time they arrive for their shift. Needless to say, this particular role, nudity is required. Mason, 40, black male. He's a slim, bespectacled, bookwormish ball of nervous energy, a go-getting reporter for a local print publication, always on the lookout for his latest scoop. He has many balls in the air as he tries to infiltrate Imp's massive drug operation. Meanwhile, a gang of young thugs is being sought in connection with a double murder. Yeah, Paul, the bus driver, and Terrence. Oh, wow, okay. And young black women in the community are disappearing, their fates unknown. All stories Mason is determined to track down and make sense of. Mason is a closeted homosexual man. Okay. Devin Coleman, 15, black male. He's a youth with a lot of swagger and bravado who is already sexually active, into a lot of things not quite appropriate for a boy his age. However, when his older half-brother Terrence is stomped by a group of thugs and later dies of the injuries, he is gripped with rage and out for revenge, a mission that may further upend his already unsettled young life. William, 18, black male. He's an unkept young man who lives in squalor with his hoarder grandmother, his desperately ill grandfather, and his younger brother Kevin. William is the caregiver for both his grandfather and Kevin, feeding them both and cleaning up the the old man with loving care. However, he has gotten in with the bad group of people, basically a bad group of toughs, and when he's perpetually involved in the beatings in which two people wind up dead, he himself is a fugitive facing a double murder rap. Finley McGregor, 43, white male. He's a handsome police detective who is about to finalize his divorce from his wife, a criminal justice professor, a womanizer who has flings with women half his age. He is the father of 2 grown sons. He is called on his day off to handle a double homicide in the crime-ridden city of South Winslow. Man. Okay, this is a long list right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, here we go. Next up, we have Daryl, 19, black male, a handsome but scruffy inner-city youth. He is a vicious thug who works for Imp. He demands money for his bus fare from Terrence, a teenage passenger, and when Terrence ignores him, he and his fellow thugs drag him off the bus and beat him into a coma that results in his death. All for some bus fare. It's Rashawn, 22, black male, one of Daryl's gang. He is a big thug who looks like America's Nightmare. Another drug dealer Imp's useful employees. He enters the bus and joins in harassing Terrence Coleman, beating the young man so viciously that he later dies of his injuries. Rezi? Hang on. 38, black female. R-E. I wanted to say Reese's. My bad. I'm actually kind of hungry right now. Rezi. 38, black female. She's William's hopelessly drug-addicted mother, a toothless wreck who turns tricks for $10 a pop. She shows up at William's grandparents' house, insisting on seeing her youngest son, Kevin, but William chases her off, knowing how much it upsets his little brother seeing their mom in that sad condition. Tamara Henderson, 31, black female. This woman is in family court trying to get visitation rights with her 2 children. But when the judge denies her that request, she responds with a profane outburst that earns her a night in jail and a stiff fine. Later, while waiting at a lonely bus stop, she's abducted by a mysterious assailant. Judge Geraldine Proctor, 58, white female. This family court judge refuses to grant Tamara visitation with her children, and after that, she holds her in contempt for Tamara's outburst. CTA Police Captain William Garcia, 58, Latino male. This uniformed police captain is with Chief Riley when he informs him of Paul's assault. He later works with Finley to track down the culprits. Big 20s to 30s black male. This 300-pound thug is another of M's drug employees. He comments on how stupid Daryl and his gang were to get into hot water with the police. Mrs. Teresa Mills Crawford, 53, black female. Paul's pretty and classy wife. She has just learned that her husband has succumbed to his injuries. A stately and courageous woman, she remains strong in the face of her loss. She informs her family gathered in the hospital waiting room that Paul is dead, then assigns them various tasks going forward as she prepares to go to see her daughter in college to personally break the news. Terrell Coleman, 17, black. He's a handsome, athletic youth, the star player on his high school basketball team. He's on Paul's city bus minding his own business. When Daryl demands money for his bus fare and Terrell tries to ignore him, he is dragged off the bus and beaten so viciously that he lapses into a coma and he dies. Tori Martin, 43, black female. This representative from the Department of Child Services appears in Judge Proctor's family courtroom. Much to Tamara's ire, she advises against Tamara being granted visitation with her children at this time. Renee, 37, black female, a cleaning lady at the South Winslow family court. She is a hard-working single mom with 3 kids scraping by, brought to tears of grief when suddenly faced with eviction. She arrives back at her place to find her belongings tossed into the mud and rain as vulture-like thieves make off with her possessions. A strong woman, resilient and God-fearing, she finds sanctuary with her friend Miss Stew, who takes the family in. Miss Stew, 53, black, overweight, living in a rundown craftsman-style home. She is a force of nature, a drag performer who's never out of character, flamboyant, but also very grounded when it comes to the realities of life. She's clearly worried about her grandson, Rashawn, who she suspects has killed a young man. Okay, yeah, part of that gang, all right? She graciously opens her home to Renee and her family, knowing she would do the same for her. Cedric Stitchman, 30s, black male, a nurse at the South Winslow Urgent Care Center. He's good at his job, kind and gentle with his patients. He's also addicted to cocaine. I'm sorry. He's also, to have a sentence where it's like, hey, this is good at his job, he's kind and gentle, but he's also addicted to coke, and finds out and works out of his house as a stitch man for the local gangbangers who come to him for their medical emergencies. For his services, he gets paid in little packets of white powder. Oh, man. Miss Douglas, 50s, black female, heavy set. We got a lot of overweight and heavy set people in this show. I can't judge. I got a belly myself. I just find it interesting that I've never gone through this many character descriptions and that particular line regarding someone's weight is mentioned. Okay. Miss Douglas, 50s, black female, heavy set. She's a tough talking, no nonsense, weed smoking woman, but not without compassion and heart. She is visited by a distraught Devin who has been tossed out of his house by his mom. Later, we see the two having sex. What? We see the two having sex. However, that doesn't mean Miss Douglas is about to let Devin spend the night, telling him to get on home to his mama and to humble himself and apologize. But Devin's 15. Well, his description did say he was getting into stuff, or in this case, getting into people he shouldn't be at his age. All right. Good grief. DeMille, 50, black female. She's Karen's aunt who also works in M's drug factory. She and Karen must strip nude every time they arrive for their shift, okay? Ahmad, 50, male. This Middle Eastern liquor store clerk rings Devin up from behind a wall of bulletproof glass. Lamisha, 16, black female. She jumps off a bus and runs after Devin to let him know that his brother has been stomped and is in serious shape. Pearl Billings, 52, black, okay, slightly overweight. This female bus driver is dismayed to learn that Paul has been attacked and is in grave condition. Mr. Jenkins, 55, black. This mailman calls for help when he sees Devin with his unconscious brother. Roosevelt Rollins, 58, white, heavy set and unkempt. He's Tamara's lawyer. He tries to calm her, but her outburst in family court dooms her case and earns her a night in jail for contempt. Sela Gonzalez, 47, Latin female. This plump court clerk tells Lisa she has gotten several urgent calls from the police while she was working. Clyde Strickland, 53, black male, slightly overweight. This bus driver who regularly drives the 187 route is also shocked but not surprised by Paul's assault. He has regularly complained that the route is dangerous. Nurse Brown, 36, black male or female. This emergency room nurse, tells Lisa she will have to wait her turn and later directs Mason to the action ... They don't finish that. Nurse Mary, 40, white, female. This plump... Good Lord. Come on. Seriously. Okay. Nurse Mary, this plump hospital nurse, tries to calm the frantic Lisa, who is trying to find out information on her son. Amelia, 21, white. This beautiful young college student is seen in bed with Finley, her much older lover. Aubrey, 21, white female. She's a mixed, high-strung girlfriend who argues with him, a frequent occurrence. Grandma B, 70s, black female, William and Kevin's grandmother. She's a terrible hoarder who lives in a squalid house not at all fit for her grandsons. Officer Grant, male or female, open ethnicity. This police officer leads Finley through the emergency ward. Dr. Asher Sullivan, white male, 30s. This doctor has just told Teresa of her loss. Carolyn, 50s, black female. This relative agrees to be the spokesperson for the family after the death of Paul. Leslie, 40s, black female. This relative agrees to call the CTA to let Chief Riley know of Paul's death. Mr. Mills, 70s, black. He's Teresa's father who tries to comfort his daughter after her husband's death. Tina, 40s, black. She's Roland's very pretty second wife, the mother of Devin, who visits Lisa in the hospital and is later devastated to learn of Terrence's death. News reporter, open ethnicity, male or female. 20s, 30s. This television news reporter covers the double murder that has left the community in shock. Driver of a black Charger. Black males, 30. This mysterious man drags the helpless Tamara into his car. Tyron? Tyron. Tyron, 13, black. He is Renee's eldest son, sweet, caring, compassionate, and responsible. He often looks after his two kid brothers, deeply affected by his mom's grief when the family is evicted from their home. He reassures his mom that everything's going to be okay, later offering to drop out of school and get a job, a selfless offer that Renee immediately dismisses. Lieutenant Gibson, 40, white, male, tall with an athletic build. Oh, somebody who's in shape. He is the commander of the South Winslow. Every time I see Winslow, all I can think is Family Matters. South Winslow SWAT team. Pompous with a self-important attitude, he assures his superior that he'll bring in the kid whom they all think killed a young woman. Rondella, late 30s, overweight and diabetic. Here we go. A teacher at a... Lord, don't take a drink every time I say something about somebody's weight. Or every time somebody's weight is mentioned. Late 30s, overweight, and diabetic. A teacher at a local school. She comes to the urgent care center to have her bleeding hand looked at, pleased when Cedric assures her that she's going to be okay. Dean, black male, 20s. He's a vicious, soulless thug who, with his cohorts, kidnaps, then beats the living heck out of Rashawn, who he blames for the death of Terrell. Robbie, black 20s, this babyface thug is a cohort of Dean trying to be cool about things, but nervous and terrified that Dean is actually going to kill Rashawn with a baseball bat. He later shows up with a battered Dean at Cedric's home so that Rashawn can get some medical attention. Sonia, 30s, black. This lady on the bus yells angrily at Renee in her grief, had brushed past her roughly. Moments later, she's filled with compassion as she watches Renee, who's been evicted, approach her home where thieves are picking through her belongings, thrown in the mud. Aaron, 17, black, in basketball shorts and a hoodie. Seen on the bus, he offers his condolences to Devin about what happened to his brother. Detective Matthews, male, 50s, open ethnicity. Overweight, he is a hardened career lawman straight out of Central Casting, not one to ponder the subtleties of a case. He is investigating the murder of a young woman who looks to have been beaten. Christina, 15, black, very pretty, sassy, and smart. She lets Coach Lowe know that Devin has been cutting classes and needs someone to talk some sense into him. FP, black, 20s female. She is a beautiful young woman who goes by the moniker Fat Pussy. Not going to say it, don't want to be demonetized. While on a hookup site, she coerces Rashawn into a rendezvous. Working in cahoots with a foursome of thugs, she distracts Rashawn long enough for the thugs to converge on a young man and toss him in the trunk of their car. Whoa. Paul Crawford Jr., 26, black. He's Paul's son, distraught and frantic as he tells his mom that his dad is in cardiac arrest. Okay, yeah, so this is the son of the bus driver. Sister Beatrice, female, 74, white, frail. This nun takes out a small bag of trash from the convent to the dumpsters and falls over a naked dead body. She screams and screams till she passes out. Lord have mercy. DeMille, black, male, 20s. He's Karen's nephew who also works in Imp's Drug Factory. He and Karen... Wait, I'm sorry. Did I already go over this one? Yep. Sorry about that. Yeah, DeMille and Clyde Strickland. Sorry, I already went over those. Judge Geraldine, I already have. Okay, yeah, this is the last batch of characters. I promise and I'm done. Sorry about that. Some of the screenshots people sent me must have had the same one listed twice. Okay, we're almost done. Medical examiner, male, 60, white. This medical examiner is certain that Tamara's cause of death was by hyperfixation, but is also curious about the dog bites on her body. Doesn't that mean she was like choked to death or something? Virginia Henderson, 74, black. She is Tamara's grandmother, incensed by the dismissive and derogatory words used by Judge Proctor when talking about a young woman she has held in contempt in court. Keon, male, 8, black. He is one of Tyrone's younger brothers. Renee's middle child. He is a sweet, shy kid, confused and amused by Miss Stew, whom he can see is a man. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, I knew Miss Stew. Miss Alice, 60s, black. She is Renee's supervisor at the South Winslow court, where Renee works as a cleaning lady. She is dismayed but not angry to see that Renee has left her cart in the middle of a hallway. Trina, 30s, black. She is a cleaning woman who works with Renee at the family court. Girl from the block, 13, black. This polite and tentative girl sent by her mother asks Renee, who's just been evicted, if she is giving anything away. Detective Briggs, male, 57, black. Working at the South Winslow Police Department, he gives Finley the info about a homicide that just came in. Officer 1 and 2, open ethnicity, male or females, 30s to 40s. These officers storm the cramped, clutter-strewn home of Grandma B looking for William, a suspect in a recent homicide. And finally, Sheriff Charles, open ethnicity, 50s male. This sheriff at the courthouse welcomes Lisa back. Thank the Lord, I finally did it. All these various characters. So, this seems like a pretty dark, gritty show, street level. Yeah. Sorry, making it sound like Luke Cage or something. But let me know in the comments if you're interested in this series. It just seems like, holy crap, there's so much Tyler Perry stuff. I mean, between BET renewing 10 shows, then adding this one to the mix, that's 11. And that doesn't even count the various movies coming to Amazon, the movies he has coming to Netflix, the series coming to Netflix, Beauty in Black. If you combine it, I'm pretty sure that's darn near, if not 20 different Tyler Perry projects. 'Cause I think his Amazon deal was like 3 to 5 movies. I know the Netflix deal is like 10 total, but that also includes films he's already done, like the Medea Homecoming and Jazzman, Fall from Grace and whatnot. So Tyler Perry's on a roll. So there's something for everybody, no doubt. I'm not reviewing every single thing, man. I'm telling you that right now, because some of the shows I wish I could review, but the ratings aren't there. But yeah, this is going to be wild, and it's a BET Plus show. So again, let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch you in the next video.